It's another Monday here in the world that we live in, because we got one of these things, and unless aliens come down, this is the one we got. And today I want to talk about controlling the controllables. Today is Monday. What is the date? Today is Monday, November 16th, and I live in California. And November 17th, the whole thing shuts down again. And I am not looking forward to that. I'm a guy who likes to get out, man, and go places. I want to enjoy humanity. I know you want to enjoy humanity also. Good morning. We got shanta, galion, chanda, baba, Emma viorika, I believe. Moody 19.9 or moot D. Good morning to you guys out in the world. Today, man, we're talking about controlling the controllables. That's the one thing I want to talk about today. Good morning, Monica Fate. So, this world, Spray Angel, good morning. We got a lot of things about to take place, and I'm not a big fan of it. Tim Douglas inspires. Yes, what's up? Hey, the world's shutting down again. It's kind of crazy. Now, I get that there are people that are getting sick. Good morning, One Gypsy Soul. There are people getting sick. It's part of the world, man, unfortunately. Stephanie Arias, good morning. Hello. Luke Chappell, good morning. And I think that there's just this weight that's just set onto people's soul. And what happens is this weight kind of sets. Good morning, Evan. As this weight kind of sets, we start operating a little differently. Here's what scares me about what's coming up right now. One, in the summertime, when everything got shut down, or we'll call it spring going into summer, we had this beautiful outdoor area. It was still spring. You could take your dog for a walk. You can get out, you could, summertime, you can kind of still get out. So even if it was just your family and going on for a walk, Shanta Gallion, good morning. Stephanie Arias, good morning. You would still be able to go out, right? So you weren't, not only all the restaurants were closed, all the different places were closed, you could still go outside and enjoy the outside. Here's what scares me about this next stage we're going into of we'll call it the re-shutting down of the crazy world because of the pandemic. You can't go outside. You can, but it might be raining. For some people, it's snowing. For some people, it is, there could be hurricanes and storms going on because it's the wintertime. And then you get the common flu going on. And then you got all these people that are going to be sick, that you got to stay away from. You don't know if it's going to be the flu or is it going to be the actual COVID thing. It's just a lot going on. So I'm worried about this environment we're running into, because you're going to have people that are genuinely cabin fever, stuck inside, that are very angry, that there's a lot going on, and they're scared and fearful of being sick, and you can't figure out what to do. So here's what takes place. We don't typically control the controllables, and so the world gets the most of our mind, and it's a tough place to be. And so today I'm talking about controlling the controllables, and the controllables you can control are you. There's a lot of ways you can do the controlling of you. I mean, I can control what I do, what I say, how I respond is a big piece of it. But here's what I think we should take into account. I want you to take into account going into this next stage. And especially if you live in California, or you live in Oregon, or you live in possibly Washington, where things are getting shut down again. I don't know about the East Coast so much, but I know that these areas, they are shutting down. San Francisco's already shut down. Restaurants aren't opening back up for a while. And we're going into another dark stage. And here's what I realized. You have got to control the controllables in a sense of first, you got to control what you can control, which is just your day. You got to control your day. So what happens, a lot of people we're just like, you know what I want to do? So we get into this float. And the float's not very good. The float feels good for a moment because you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to kind of go with the motions and and then what happens is the float gets to the point where it's unfulfilling. One of my biggest fears is unfulfillment. I think that's what ends up happening a lot to people, is a lack of fulfillment. So when you have a lack of fulfillment, you have a feeling of fear. I just made that up, but it sounds good. A lack of fulfillment has a feeling of fear, because I don't know what to do, and should I be doing this, and is this the right thing, and it's what's going to turn into, and right, we get all stressed out because we didn't do things to control we could control, which is my day. Getting up at a certain time, taking a certain action, having a morning routine, like getting on and talking to people on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, having a good morning, listen to the podcast, which we're going to call the Shift Starter Daily. I'm going to put on here a link for you guys to actually listen. All you got to do is go to this thing, starterdaily.com. You can head to this podcast and hear me every weekday morning and just listen in. I have a lot of cool thoughts and ideas I share in there. This week we're talking about excuses. But here's the thing. If you don't have a control of what you can control in terms of starting your day with control of the day, you start to feel like a leaf in the wind, and no one feels like a leaf in the wind and enjoys it, to be the most honest. It's kind of a tough place, because now I got this lack of fulfillment. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I feel like everybody else is controlling my life, and us as humans, especially if you're an American or in a free country, hey, DB88, no one really enjoys going out and doing what they're doing. To be honest, no one really gets to the point of interestingly enjoying being lost. Like, it's a weird thing that you don't really like. So you got to get to the point of, one, if you're feeling the little weight of what's going on, start thinking about how can I take control of the start of my day, throughout my day, when I go to bed, when I go to sleep. Because that little bit of control, it gives you a sense of like you have control, as opposed to the governor or the police or whoever it is floating around controlling your entire life. We are people who like to have our freedom. And when it's robbed from us in a certain way, whether it be for safety or non-safety, we freak out. We honestly do. And so I'm telling you right now, one of the first stages of controlling the controllables is controlling what you do as soon as you start the day. Don't get up and go through the motions. Don't get up and kind of just wing it. Do your thing. Just figure out what happens. Because here's also what takes place. It'll lead to regret. Regret's a sucky place, because you'll get to the back end and say, you know what? All those days I got up and didn't do anything. I should have done something. I could have done something. But all I did was sit around and do nothing. And then I'm like, man, I'm heavier and I'm more unhappy. And I didn't get that job promotion. And it's crazy because, man, when things close down, jobs go away too. It sucks. You can't even control your own career and your own job, which leads us to the second part of this thing, which is how do you react to situations? First thing is, how do you start in control, which you can't have full control, but you can have control of the things you can control. The mornings, the foods, the things I do when I get up in the morning. Control that first aspect. It gives you a little bit of a sense of hope, and it leaves it there for a longer period of time. Second thing is, you got to have a better plan for how you react. Listen, I said plan for how you react. The problem is a lot of us act emotionally, and when you're in an emotional state, emotions are high, intelligence is low. So if I'm in an emotional state and things go wrong and something goes crazy, oh my gosh, I feel horrible, and it's an emotional thing. I don't react very well. I do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing. I'm in a wrong space. And next thing I know, this reaction or thing, it just takes control. My life goes crazy. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to get you to latch onto, black men's where we're coming on with you. What I want you to think about is you can have a reaction plan. How will I handle today if something goes wrong? Will I breathe and take a couple seconds to think and then act? Will I pivot to something new? Will I take a minute or a 2-minute break before I respond to this email? Will this text message come through and I won't freak out and get pissed at somebody and go back and forth? You got to have a plan for your reaction, because here's the truth. Reactions are the ones you can't always get back. It's the thing you say, the thing you do that you're not stuck into. I mean, I believe there's some people that they have these, snap decisions, and they made it, and now their pride won't let them pivot from the decision. I made the choice. In my head, I'm like, dumb choice, but I'm going to fight to protect this anyways, right? Your reaction sucked. If you'd have had time to breathe and plan the reaction, you could have had a better outcome for that moment. You wouldn't have been stuck in a place trying to fight for something you don't want to fight for. So when you're in this place right now, to the world closing down, because it's closing down tomorrow, I want you to think about how can you plan to react properly in a way that benefits your life. Let me repeat this. How can you plan to react properly in a way that benefits your life? Because a lot of people, unfortunately, do not react in ways that benefit their life. They react in ways that benefit the emotion of the moment. And the emotion of the moment doesn't always last. What typically lasts is the outcome of that decision. So you can't always operate in a space of what in the world am I thinking right now and do the emotion in the moment. What you really got to start thinking about is what's the outcome of what takes place in this moment. I've always lived my life in this way. I want the next moments, and you should want the next moments of your life to be better than the current moments. And if you want the next moments to be better than the current moments, you have to think about how that can be. It doesn't happen accidentally. Sometimes it's giving grace, giving patience, not reacting the way someone expects you to react, and it gives you a leg up. It gives you a chance to plan properly, have better moments in the future. So as we go into this next stage of this holiday season and possible shutdown some more, I want you to think about what can you control. First off, what can you control in a sense of what can you do about your day? What can you do about the morning when you start it? What can you do to choose how this thing is going as best you can? And then what can you do to respond, to plan and choose your responses to moments that you didn't choose? Because a lot of us didn't choose these moments. I didn't choose for everything to get shut back down. Like I like to get out and hang out with my kids and go out and see. I like to go. I like the world. I love humanity, people. And so what happens with the world shutting down like this, I have to realize that for me, I'm not going to be able to go outside, and I can't go to restaurants, and I can't really travel. And I got to be inside all the time. So it's like it's going to be even more confining. I must plan, how am I going to get up and start my day? Am I going to get up and go for a walk? It's all kind of low key. Am I going to go for a run? Am I going to ride my bike, catch my workout? Am I going to do some things with a family? Are we going to, try to maybe drive out of this area? Which, here's the thing. Essentially, legally, there's a misdemeanor You could be charged with a misdemeanor in California if you have gatherings larger than 5 people or 6 people from 2 households. So Thanksgiving won't be Thanksgiving as much. On top of that, if you leave the Bay Area, they want you to do like a 1 or 2 week quarantine at your house now, just for leaving the Bay Area. It means if I live in San Francisco Bay Area, if I want to drive to Sacramento and then come back, I'm not supposed to go back out into the world for like a week or 2. You craziness. I don't know. It's weird, to be totally honest, but people got to be safe. So what I must do is, how do I plan the reaction to this? How do I do things in advance? Because then what happens is you're not a leaf in the wind. You're not lost wandering the day, trying to figure out what to do, living unhappy, watching other people be happy. And then here's what I look at. When the world opens back up, it's going to be kind of like a bunch of people at a starting line. And there's some people that are down in their 3-point stand, ready to take off. And some people are standing there wandering. And what happens is that gun's going to go off. Bah! There's a vaccine. Bah! Go to work. Live your life. Take off. Some people are going to be taking off sprinting. Going full speed. Some people are going to be sitting back going, where are those people going? I didn't realize you were in the race. When did the gun go off? And they're stuck at the starting line still watching everybody take off. Now you're playing catch up. The way you eliminate the aspect of having to play catch up is by getting prepared, by staying in tune, staying on top mentally, staying aware of what's going on, taking care of yourself. Plan how to take care of yourself. Plan the reactions, and I promise you have a much, much better outcome, we'll call it, at the end of this whole crazy thing we're going through. Because, man, we're all going through it. You're going through it. I'm going through it. The world's different. It's going to stay different. I like it, and I don't like it at the exact same time. But this is the world that we live in, and this is what we got. So we got to figure out is how do we operate ourselves within it, because the world's not going to conform to what we want. We kind of got to conform, for the most part, to the vast majority of the world. And this may be something that you're one of the majority. Great. You may not be. Not so great. So what do you do about it? You complain all day? No, you control the controllables so you can control your life a little bit more. So that's my spiel for you today. This week, just so you guys know, we are talking about excuses inside of the Shift Starter Daily. So go to the link you see at the bottom, shiftstarterdaily.com. Those of you guys who do not know, it's a daily podcast, Monday through Friday. I drop an 8-minute quick little bump to your soul episode. Feel good about yourself, learn a little something, and then give you some steps to actually appreciate what's going on in your life and actually make some adjustments to get Shift started. It's a community, not just a podcast. It's a community of human beings who I'm building, and it's going to be worldwide in my perspective of what I want to do. I want to reach a lot of lives around a concept. It's free. It's not money into it. It's free to come in and listen and think and have this concept, because I believe what will allow this world to be better is those who are starting shift. Shifting inside my thoughts, beliefs, my perspectives, how I operate here, so I can shift what I do outside and change my world and the world. But it starts every single day. I got to start that perspective. I got to start some shift. So head to shiftstarterdaily.com. I said I put the little link below and come join us over there. You know we are not to conform to this world. Quite frankly, I think you know what I mean. I'm a man of faith. It's to conform to the societal aspects of what we do. And actually, I believe it's in Romans 3. There's a discussion about submitting. Not so much aligning on the same thing, but you are submitting to the higher powers. So biblically, there's an aspect where you are having to conform a little bit, right? But I'm not talking about conform, because then the world's crazy. Can be very crazy. So don't go do everything. You get what I'm saying. But we do got to operate in a way that allows us to understand how do we do the best in this world in front of us and submit to our leaders. It's a very interesting dynamic, because not a lot of us want to, right? So you know what I mean? And I hope that makes sense to you. But yeah, there's a world we live in where we got to make sure we're clear that this is a world if we're going to operate the best in, we can fight all day. And yes, do fight for what is right, 100%. But at the same capacity, don't kill yourself fighting against the grain forever, because at the end of the day, you're the one that stands to lose, and no one wants you to lose. I especially don't want you to lose. So those of you guys, so I've seen all your good morning to FD. I see you guys creating April. Yeah, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Honestly, I hope you had a great, phenomenal weekend. If you guys want, head down to shiftstarterdaily.com. Listen to the podcast today and the rest of the days during the weekdays. Outside of that, I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a phenomenal, blessed day. Take care. God bless.